hiring those useless newcomers and invest in him instead. I think he alone could replace 4 others. Working with such a magician would definitely be especially relaxed and efficient. Then our agency would become more famous, allowing us to earn more money when we make big money and become wealthy. Dre said, speechless. Stop dreaming. Continue with the mission. Dre opened the communicator saying, Juan, 3rd floor cleared. Other enemies dealt with too. We're coming up to the roof to meet you now. But suddenly, piercing noise came through the communicator. Juan's weak voice came through intermittently. Captain. However, before he could finish, the communicator lost signal. Dre hurriedly got up and rushed toward the roof. I said, you go ahead. I'll be right there. With that, they rushed to the roof. When I climbed the roof, I was half dead. This weak body is terrible. When Dre and his team reached the roof, they didn't encounter the expected attack. The entire roof was covered with members of the 2nd squad. Dre hurried to weigh in to check his injuries. Then shouted, use regeneration potion on the wounded. Regeneration potions are expensive, but nothing compared to our team members' lives. As the potion was used, Wei Yin's wounds gradually healed. Wei Yin said weakly, sorry, Captain. Dre comforted him. Nothing to apologize for. You did well just to hold on. I observed the situation from the side. What's going on? Although all members of the 2nd squad were fatally wounded like Wei Yin, none died on the spot. Unless highly trained, it's basically impossible to achieve this. If it was such a skilled fighter, there's no reason for them to flee after injuring everyone. After thinking for a moment, I spoke up. The killer is still here. My words immediately caused panic among the mercenary group. Dre turned to me saying, Magician, I'll leave Wei Yin to you. I nodded. Dre stood up and shouted to everyone. First evacuate the wounded, then have remaining personnel maintain alert status. Everyone in the scene orderly executed their assigned tasks. Dre gritted his teeth. Where is he hiding? On a nearby watchtower, a figure suddenly spoke. What a surprise. I expected visitors, but didn't think they'd come so quickly. Dre raised his gun and shouted, Sue bastard, you hurt my team members like this and you're still sitting there watching them die. The man replied indifferently. Do you know how much money we invested in this operation? Skavancic gathered 3 branches, squeezed all resources to prepare for this operation. We seized the server connecting to Area 53 Feet's evil tax management system and bribed dozens of officials to finally reach this stage. Dre rebuked. You're insane. Are you going after Orc and city government's reserve funds? The man laughed coldly. Exactly. But we don't need to bother the city government. The puppet district governments alone manage billions in assets. If we select a regular power facility, interfere with Area 53 Feet's power supply stability, the system's security would naturally malfunction. We're just exploiting the loopholes in the corrupt institutions themselves. Does that bother you so much? Dre said calmly. Well, I just think this business doesn't suit a retired soldier. The man laughed. I've been off the front lines for over 3 years. I thought I no longer resembled a soldier. It seems that was my illusion. Dre stated that the exquisite killing intent you omit is enough to prove you're no ordinary criminal. I don't intend to pursue the right or wrong of this matter, nor am I interested in how much effort Scavans put in. I'm here simply because we took this commission. Nothing more. The man responded, it doesn't matter. I never intended to give up when I started. Abandoning because of a mere mercenary group would be premature. Then he reached behind him, taking out a red pill. Dre immediately ordered everyone to open fire, but the man jumped down from the watchtower with lightning speed. In midair, he bit into the pill. After landing, his appearance completely changed. Facing the bullet storm, he instantly appeared before the gun-wielding Hansen. A swipe of his claws pierced Hansen's chest from behind. Then he said coldly, aren't you curious why I didn't kill those who came up first? With that, he flung Hansen away. Nearby, Darren exclaimed in horror. He took Hansen's heart. The man continued maniacally, because to use power, I need fresh fuel. Looks like he's using black magic. He craves human flesh so much, he must be a vampire or blood slaughterer. I recall this ability has strong side effects. Does he want a decisive battle? After eating Hansen's heart, the man said, this alone isn't enough. He raised the knife in his hand, then charged toward Darren. Ike stepped forward to shield Darren, but the man shattered Ike's shield with a single slash. Then the man appeared behind Darren in an instant. With Darren's terrified gaze, the man bit through Darren's neck in one bite. This one doesn't taste good. Dre immediately ordered everyone to attack. Facing the charging crowd, the man shouted excitedly, what will you taste like? Then he charged into the crowd, frantically attacking everyone. Seeing this, Gideon shouted, "Keep shooting. Don't stop." But the man, hit by several bullets, remained unharmed. He raved. "Such petty tricks can never kill me." Just as Gideon was about to be killed, thunder suddenly boomed in the sky, a lightning bolt struck the man. It was my phantom lightning. Since I successfully adjusted the attack range and magic usage in that strike, avoiding the mercenary group and power equipment, the opponent could avoid this attack if they could perceive the lightning's precursor with their eyes or senses. If they avoided the lightning, their next target would be me. Sure enough, the next second, the man's attack reached my face, but was blocked by my protective barrier. I dodged backward. He's definitely coming for me. I had anticipated this, so I didn't strengthen the barrier, but let it absorb the impact energy as it shattered. Gideon and the others, having recovered, continued suppressing the man with gunfire. The man finally became somewhat serious. Even taking bullets, I must eliminate that magician now. Someone who can cast lightning like that is too dangerous. I drew my revolver and applied enhancement magic, allowing me to empty all bullets in an instant. The bullets fired like cannonballs, splitting in midair, then targeting different body parts. In the blink of an eye, they penetrated the man's vital organs. This blow finally injured him. After using phantom lightning, I had been preparing, but one shot wasn't enough to take him down. I needed another attack to finish him. This body is too weak. One small mistake could cost my life. But through recent commissions, I thoroughly understood that sometimes close combat can't be avoided. I stepped forward and firmly grabbed the man's chin, then unleashed super electric shock. The man howled in pain for my electricity, but he still grabbed my palm, sneering. "These tricks still won't kill me." Hearing this, I calmly replied, still holding up. "Are you?" If it were an ordinary person, my electric shock would have turned their head to ash long ago. But there was someone earlier who caught bullets with their eyelids, so this guy's head withstanding electric shocks doesn't seem that unreasonable. I raise my gun toward the man again, then fire 2 enhanced bullets. The man clutches his wounds and screams in agony. He shouts at me frantically, "Don't let me catch you or else." But in the next second, Dre's men rush in and pin the man firmly to the ground. The man struggles wildly but cannot move. Even the mercenaries restraining him are straining with effort. Ike asks Dre what they should do now. With Dre's magical knowledge, he cannot assess the man's condition. The only person on the scene who can analyze what drug he used in his current state is just one person. So Dre looks up at me and says, "Mage, do you have any other methods?" I reply coolly. Sinhai used dark magic. The principle of dark magic isn't complicated. While greatly enhancing strength, recovery, and endurance, many things must be sacrificed. The most basic requirement is using human flesh and blood as energy sources. If the supply is insufficient, thinking ability gradually diminishes. When he was struggling to resist my attacks, his mental state was definitely extremely unstable. He could barely speak clearly. Without continuously consuming human blood and hearts, his cognitive abilities would severely decline, putting him in a very dangerous situation. With such severe side effects from dark magic, it's no wonder he didn't kill the second squad's people. Because the side effects of dark magic are so obvious, few mages specifically practice this magic. So naturally, very few people understand dark magic. The people of the Colin Carl Mercenary Guild are the same way. For a period after taking the drug, dark magic power is truly invincible. But after enduring a large amount of magic and attacks, the situation changes. I step forward, grab the man's shoulder and say, "I'll see you all stand back first. I have some idea. Let me extract all the dark magic power flowing in your body. And Sin, I'll infuse my magic power into your body, which will force out all the dark magic power within you." I channel my magic, continuously drawing out the dark power. The man instinctively howls in pain. A moment later, I've completely extracted all the dark magic from his body. The man collapses to the ground, unconscious. I stand up and say coolly, "Kill him. He won't resist anymore." I look at the dark magic power in my hand, wondering how to deal with it. Generally, magic power cannot be directly preserved for long, so people use special matching containers for storage. But right now, I have no way to quickly make a container, nor can I find such a thing. If I could store it, I might be able to explore the mysteries of dark magic. Continuing to hold it will only waste my own magic power. Although it's a bit of a shame, I'll have to let it go. VM beside me praises, "You're really amazing. Are you truly a genius? And I could see your magic power from so far away. This is the first time in my life I've seen such strong magic control ability. Today I've realized how much my magic power pales in comparison." I'm shocked that he saw me using magic power from so far away. Yet no one at the Colin Carl Mercenary Bureau discovered me extracting the black magic power from that person. If what he says is true, he may naturally possess extremely sensitive magic sensing ability. Perhaps his talent isn't in charging into battle, but in wielding magic. Vian gets up and says, I've seen many people who are smug just because they're mages, but none of them can control magic as meticulously as you do. If I could imitate just a bit of your technique, could I become a little stronger too? I ask if he wants to become a mage. Vian ponders, actually, I used to think working in the Mercenary Guild was pretty good. As for now, I'm not so sure. I think to myself that I understand what he wants, but right now I'm just barely surviving on raw talent. No matter how hard I try to fit in with them, I'll never truly belong here. I pat Vian's shoulder and say, so I think Dre is a good boss. At least his advice should be much better than what someone like me could give you. And after all, forging your own career isn't easy. And so, if you've already determined your goal, finding Jenny might be a good idea too. At this moment, the Mercenary Guild members are cleaning up the battlefield. When he sees me approach, Dre bows to express his gratitude. I respond, and my casualties still occurred, which is truly regrettable. Dre sighs, that's unavoidable. Our line of work involves licking blood off knife edges. I look at the man on the ground and say, and after you collect his blood, can you send him to Jenny? Dre agrees immediately. Then Dre takes out his phone and transfers 20 million as my payment. He's also transferred the handling fee to Jenny and asks me to relay this information to her. After speaking, Dre hands me a business card. Tennis collaboration has shown me that you truly possess extraordinary power. I hope we'll have the opportunity to work together again. I take the card and respond, so I definitely will if there's a chance. Then I turn to leave. Dre is an excellent mercenary and a reliable businessman. It's good to maintain contact with such a connection. Gideon mutters, should we ask him? Ask if he's interested in joining us. Dre laughs at Gideon's words. Gideon, you still harbor such thoughts after seeing his lightning magic? With his astonishing power, it would be normal for him to be targeted by the lightning magic tower. With his talent, someone might be able to employ him, but one thing is certain, no one can monopolize him. Gideon objects. Ahmet, don't you think it's a shame too? Where else can we find such a powerful mage? Dre says calmly. Can you guarantee we won't become enemies in future work? Gideon, that's why I always say you must leave a good impression on those you work with. If we were to pursue him now, we might temporarily feel we've left no regrets, but in doing so, we'd fail to leave him with the image of us being efficient and decisive. Then no one knows what kind of butterfly effect their words and actions might trigger. I'm simply making the best choice I can in different situations. Inti, all we can do now is pray for a bit of good luck. After completing the mission with Dre's Mercenary Guild, I arrive at Jenny's bar. As soon as I enter, Dylan extends his hand in greeting, look who's here, it's my teammate. I respond irritably, who's your teammate? Dylan sidles up to me with an easy grin and says, come on, why so mean? You're hurting my feelings. Just let me have a celebrity friend. I'm confused. What celebrity? Dylan explains. Seen toward as you pulled off a big job with Dre's Mercenary Guild. Jenny's ecstatic about it. Before he finishes speaking, Dylan gets smacked on the head by Jenny. To ignore that chatterbox. How did you find working with Dre's Mercenary Guild? I reply nonchalantly. To nothing special really. Compared to dealing with the monster croaking, this mission was extremely easy, since Skyven's deputy was easy to handle too. And I heard that person was a retired military officer. If he's a deputy from Area 51, I have a good idea of his caliber. Dylan chimes in. In it, not all Skyven's people are useless. Many have suffered major setbacks at their hands because of carelessness. I ask Jenny if their core leadership figures are powerful. Jenny responds, yes, not only those deputies, but even the power differences between branch directors are significant. And be especially careful of the Skyven's branch directors from areas 20 to 29. I think to myself that since Jenny specifically emphasized this, I better keep it in mind. Then Jenny happily tells me, oh, let's not talk about that. Do you know that this incident has spread throughout our circle? Just means more and more clients will seek out the Phantom Lightning Mage. So I've also endured some hardship for our great mage. Because aren't these the commissions from this week specifically requesting you? Pick one that interests you. And here's the blood you asked them to collect. I'm somewhat surprised. So many people specifically requesting me. Tennis means many people are particularly eager to hire powerful mages. So let's maintain a long-term cooperative relationship. I can even make an exception and waive your handling fee. Dylan complains from the side, Jenny, you're playing favorites. Just then, the bartender hands me a drink, saying it's on the house. I express my gratitude. Seeing this, Dylan says, I want exactly the same drink. Jenny extends her hand and says, "Pen 100,000 sell and." Dylan laments, "Jenny, are you really going to treat me this way?" Jenny raises the price. 200,000 sell and sell and sell. A moment later, I return home and start vomiting violently. I feel my internal organs churning, but there's no help for it. To reduce the side effects of Viper, it's best to vomit out the alcohol. This body is truly garbage. Although I desperately want to rest immediately, Jenny is pressing me too urgently. The dates for the few commissions she gave me overlap. Once I choose one, I'll have to decline the others, so I need to pick quickly. I flip through the commission forms in my hand. There are private bodyguard commissions, numerous mercenary bureau commissions, commissions to assist research institutes with experiments, and even a commission from Skyvents. I destroy their organization's plans. Yet they don't care about this at all. These guys aren't quite normal. Jenny must know this. She probably deliberately left it for me to see. She's quite playful. Apart from private commissions, mercenary bureau and criminal gang commissions, and commissions with rather tight schedules, only one pharmaceutical company remains. I've recently added a website to my frequent browsing list. It's the online public auction site operated by the municipal government, where almost everything is available. What I'm most interested in is Stania Pharmaceutical Company's first-class manufactured elixir, Stamonia, priced at $100 million. It's a product among elixirs that's closer to an industrial product, and its actual effect is only to increase stamina. But I'm not in a position to be picky now. My most urgent need is to alleviate the negative effects of this body. It seems I'll have to accept Immuna Pharmaceutical Company's commission. Even if I can't get an elixir, finding some clues to solve the sleeping pill problem would be good too. Besides, the Bilanome Autonomous Region delegation is confirmed to visit Borken in 2 months. A week has passed since then. I didn't immediately accept Immuna Pharmaceutical Company's commission. To confirm the power of my shooting assistant's magic, I started capturing wanted criminals. My auxiliary design magic works quite well. It's not only powerful, but also magic efficient. Before I possess sufficient magic power, shooting magic should be a great help to me. However, shooting assistant's magic isn't omnipotent. Even with this magic, it only makes shooting faster and stronger. If I learned auxiliary system innate magic, that would enhance my combat power. But there's more to consider now. Then I arrive at Jenny's bar. Jenny raises her hand and says, "If you want to accept Immuna Pharmaceutical Company's commission, right? Time is tight. Hurry and give me the paperwork." I take out the commission form and ask how she knew. Jenny says calmly, "As of today, this is the only valid commission left. Also, I notice you seem strangely interested in medicine." After taking the commission form, Jenny starts making a phone call. Just then, a voice speaks up. "Are you the new client Jenny mentioned?" I ask if he knows me. The person affirms of course he does. Aren't you the famous electric shock mage? Rumors about you are all over our circle now. Some say you're a bounty hunter who only sees money, capturing small fry everywhere." He's right. I've been catching wanted criminals for money lately, so I can't deny their description. The man continues, "In that description isn't malicious. People wanted by the city can generally be divided into 2 categories. One is those who live for the moment, the small fish. Another is big shots who don't care about being targeted." I respond, "Ted's quite an extreme classification. So who are you?" The man puts down his wine glass and says, "Now you think to ask me." Then he tosses me a business card. I'm startled. I never expected to meet a superpower user here. The person controls the business card to fly toward me. I calmly catch it. The man then says, "Just call me Sebastian." I'm in the same line of work as Jenny, looking at the business card in my hand. I didn't detect any preparation moves from him, nor did I sense any magic power. He's probably a mage who uses mental force. I put down the card and say, "Are you a telekinesis superpower user?" Sebastian laughs. "Did you even need to ask? I've already demonstrated my ability in front of you. Seems the rumor about you training in remote areas is true." Just then, Jenny snatches away his wine glass. "Sebastian, didn't you say you'd leave after finishing your drink? Why are you pestering my client? Your approach is quite tasteless." Sebastian waves his hand. "Ponte, don't get excited yet. Although I gave him my card, I also have something for you, you shrewd lady." Jenny takes it and says with dissatisfaction, "Until summons order. Why issue a summons order at this time? Isn't it still 2 months before the Bilanome Autonomous Region delegation visits? Yet they're issuing summons orders now." Sebastian adds, "Inti is a bit strange. Supposedly it was issued early due to the strong advocacy of some local officials. This matches the news I saw yesterday. It seems the municipal government has issued a summons order to individual businesses because the Bilanome Autonomous Region delegation is coming to visit. But judging by their expressions, this summons order doesn't bode well. Sebastian stands up to leave, then extends his hand to me and says, "If you want to try different work, you can find me anytime. And I'll give you different rewards in ways unlike Jenny's." Hearing this, Jenny says, "Put a cunning fellow, though he's really good at sweet-talking wealthy people and entrepreneurs. If you want to accept private commissions, finding him is indeed an option." I ask, "Aren't you going to stop me?" Jenny responds indifferently. "Would clients not leave if I stopped them?" Then I ask how the commission is going. Jenny says the people from there will arrive shortly. A moment later, footsteps sound from the entrance. A scholarly-looking man asks if this is Jenny's bar. Jenny points inside and says, "Follow me, let's talk inside." Looking at the facilities here, I ask Jenny why she didn't tell me about this place earlier. Jenny responds irritably, "Aren't you have the nerve to blame me? Isn't it because you always leave immediately after accepting a commission? Let's not talk about that. I'm Jenny, he's Fan." The man across from us nods timidly. "Hello, I'm Juan, sales manager of a Muna pharmaceutical company. Time is short, so I'll get straight to the point." Then he hands me a contract and says, "And since you've decided to accept our company's commission, you should generally understand the content of this commission, right?" I indicate that I've read the contents. A Muna pharmaceutical company is currently developing a neurological sedative through crowdfunding. If the new drug's development succeeds, the company's net profit is highly likely to surge. But the local pharmaceutical source where the headquarters is located wants to use criminal gangs to seize the pharmaceutical company's new drug patent. So what exactly do I need to do? Juan speaks up. First, I must clarify that contrary to publicly released information, our company has actually completed a new drug development. We wanted to send samples to the patent office before the local pharmaceutical source found out, but someone within the company leaked the information. Then he hands me a photo. This is where the new drug samples are located. It's Area 54, Number 8. I hope you can retrieve the samples hidden in the warehouse and submit them to the patent office the day after tomorrow. Thank you for your help. I say coldly. Your name is Juan, right? If you want to entrust something to me, be clear about it. Juan stutters nervously, asking what I mean. I laugh coldly. Are you playing dumb? This isn't something that ends just by submitting the samples, is it? Jenny tilts her head and adds, "Alright, why haven't you mentioned anything about the criminal gang? Can you guarantee he won't conflict with the criminal gang?" I continue, "A sign could sneak in undetected and then directly hand the samples to the patent office. Is that what you want me to do?" Judging from Juan's reaction, I can finally confirm that they don't want to hire a courier, but a fighter. These guys are really insidious. Do they really think I'll take care of those criminal gangs for them while retrieving the samples? Jenny leans close to me and says, "Oh, now we should negotiate terms with them, right?" Then Jenny taps the table and tells Juan, "Go ask your superior, how much are they willing to pay to make him willingly eliminate the criminal gang when he encounters them during his courier job? We'll wait out here. Feel free to make your call." After coming out, Jenny tells me, T did indeed try a little trick, though it's childishly cute. Probably wanted to suppress the price. I ask Jenny how difficult this commission is. Jenny ponders for a moment and says, "It shouldn't be too difficult. A criminal gang allied with local officials probably isn't that large. Maybe around 100 people at most. But most members should be at the same level as Skyvince members. Apart from the somewhat special mixed blood boss, the others aren't noteworthy." I nod and say, "Good, but the commission fee must increase." Jenny smiles sweetly. "I'll leave it to me. I'll definitely squeeze another 10 million sell out of them." Just then, Juan walks out from inside. He nods at Jenny. Jenny gives me a triumphant okay sign. By evening, Juan and I head to the mission location. Juan glances at me and says, "We're a bit late. The others have probably arrived already." I'm surprised. "Others?" Juan explains. "And so we've hired some people to guard the warehouse. Although they can't compare to the criminal gang in numbers, they should be able to help you." I think to myself that it seems they don't intend for this mage to fight alone. I just don't know if those few people will actually be useful. Besides this, I also need some information about the new drug. Should I try to extract information from him? With this thought, I say, "Jenny said you knew my abilities but deliberately lowered my price." Juan stutters. "That's a misunderstanding." I then ask, "Aren't there any other samples in the warehouse?" Juan responds, "Yes, there are samples of other market drugs. That warehouse was originally the boss's private warehouse." I ask if there are ordinary drugs like sleeping pills inside. Juan says there should be. I need sleeping pills, so this works out perfectly. A moment later, we arrive at the pharmaceutical company's warehouse. Some people are already standing in front of the warehouse. One unbuckles his seatbelt, wanting to get out. But I tell him to wait. In the next second, a burly man knocks on the car window, asking if Juan is from Amuna company. Juan nods in confusion. The next moment, the burly man starts smashing the car, shouting, "Watch it out." Juan immediately panics. The burly man points at the people behind him and says, "'Tis isn't what we agreed on." "What do you mean by bringing 10 people here?" I say calmly, "It seems apart from me. The rest are all garbage." I take a puff of Viper. "And let's go out. Since I've taken your money, I won't let you down." Seeing this, the burly man roars at me. "Who the hell are you? Why are you with him? When he hired us, he never mentioned dealing with a criminal gang." The noise of their arguing gives me a splitting headache. I calmly say, "Could you be a bit quieter?" Hearing this, the burly man points at me angrily. "Bastard, you're finished too. If the criminal gang targets you, there's no escape even with wings." I understand what they're worried about. They're certainly feeling helpless about confronting a criminal gang, but I have no intention of reassuring them. Seeing I'm unmoved, the burly man swings his fist at me. I dodge with a sidestep. At the same time, I gather lightning in my hand. Then I grab his back and deliver an electric shock. The others are immediately shocked by my action. The pharmaceutical company actually hired a mage. Immediately, the crowd erupts into noisy discussion. I don't have the patience to listen to them talk, so I directly tell them to shut up. Then I turn and say, "You seem to know something about the criminal gang. But even if you vent your anger here, you're just wasting time. Don't refuse a toast only to drink a forfeit." Suddenly, a voice rings out from the crowd. A red-haired young man steps out and says disdainfully, "So, you're a mage, big deal." Then he raises his arm. The next second, flames surge from his hands. Red hair speaks contemptuously. "You probably don't know that not all mages are powerful, and especially those who take commissions like this. There are definitely those who were kicked out of magic towers because their magic power was too weak." The crowd immediately buzzes with discussion. I laugh at his words. I've encountered superpower users twice in one day. Fire ability users, fire bathers. Their titles vary, but they're all known for direct and powerful force. However, if he was called here without knowing the situation, his ability probably isn't very strong either. I say calmly, "So what do you want? To teach me a good lesson, then burn this car to ashes?" Red hair arrogantly says, "Oh no, weak mages like you will only be our burden. I'm going to burn you to death too." Indeed, there are no pleasant conversationalists in this circle. Red hair charges at me with his flaming fist. I activate my protective shield and reach out. Then I grab his fist. Power is the means of communication. Next, I close my eyes to enhance my magic. Then I use my magic to disrupt his flames. The next second, Red hair's flames spread across his entire body. Immediately, Red hair screams in agony. Not all fire ability users are immune to fire. Red hair kneels on the ground, pleading in pain. "Inteen was wrong. Please spare me." I release my grip on him. Feeling the numbness in my hand, my grip strength is too poor to continue teaching him a lesson. The others rush forward to extinguish the fire. Setting the warehouse on fire would be disastrous. I tell Juan, "You'll only cause trouble here. You'd better go back." Juan hurriedly flees. Then I enter the warehouse interior. The pharmaceutical company has entrusted me with just one task. Deliver the new drug samples to the patent office. The submission time is early the day after tomorrow, which means I have to hold on for another day and a half from now. I search among the shelves for the sample the sales manager mentioned. A moment later, I find the sample. I could just take the sample and run, but that's not what the pharmaceutical company wants. If I must confront the criminal gang, then I'll knock them all down right here. At this moment, everyone outside is running around like headless flies, not knowing what to do. I step forward and ask them what's happening. The previously stunned burly man says quietly, "Well, we don't really know what preparations to make." I sigh. It seems they truly know nothing. I ask how many people they have. The burly man says there are 15 people, including the just awakened red hair. I instruct, first block the warehouse entrance, then divide all personnel into 3 groups for rotating patrols. Turn port to me immediately if you discover anything unusual. I have other things to do. I go to the back wall. It's dirty and messy everywhere. Is it because it's hidden in such a place that it hasn't been discovered yet? The wall itself is quite high. It would take some effort to climb over. The problem is that the wall surface is severely damaged. I gather magic called lethal lightning. Then I place it on the ground. This is a landmine magic that will explode once specific conditions are met. This type of magic inflicts powerful damage on objects approaching the attack range. But with a small blast radius,